Hello, my name is Leland Cole, and I thank you, counselors, for taking this time and staying up late. Um, what my proposal is called a safe walk, and what it is, I don't know if you got, uh, I'm sure you got the
Yeah, we have
copy.
here.
You don't have all that. I have the original that I mailed in, but I made a for this meeting. And your second page shows this the target area, what we're shooting for. We'd like to get sidewalks and actually curbs in this target area. It's called Suburban Acres Third Edition. If you look at it, if you go in that area, that entire area, there are a number of homes that have wheelchair ramps, yet there are no sidewalks, so the wheelchairs go straight to the driveways, and after that, if anyone wants to go anywhere, they have to go out into the street. And like I was telling once before, that Hartford Street is almost like Brookside. It's a lot of traffic, yet people are walking in the streets. And we used to see a lot of people in wheelchairs trying to navigate through that, but it seemed like over the last 10 years it's cut down at people trying to go down that street, Hartford. But what we're trying to do is not just put sidewalks in, but because this is called vision, we were trying to do something visionary. We want to put lighted sidewalks in. We want to put sidewalks that have, you look at, I think your third page, it shows solar lighting with lucite rods that are into the sidewalks that light up the sidewalks. And I'm listening to everyone come in with their goal statements that do provide that economic and tax generation. This particular project doesn't do that, although I believe that eventually, because of the uniqueness of it, people will be coming to this particular area just to see, you know, what has been done. And I believe it'd be very beneficial for a number of reasons, because in this vision program, it's been explained that a lot of funding has been going to like the Air and Space Museum and things out north. However, it's the consensus of most of the people out north that they don't see any results of the vision. And I believe that this will be something that the entire state would be able to see community beautification in an area where, like I said, there are no sidewalks, let alone curbs. And like I said, there's a lot of transportation up and down Hartford between 46th and 51st. And this is what the target area covers. And if you look at the final page, it kind of gives you an idea of what it would look like completed. And as you notice, I've got 300,000 is what 10 years ago when we originally submitted this idea that it would cost to put in the sidewalks, and all that could change because it may cost more per foot for concrete. And it's not just, like say, the sidewalks, which are really needed, because I mean, I live on Hartford, and so if I'm sitting on my porch or looking out my window, I'm seeing cars go by and people, you know, walking or bicycles right in the street. There's no place for them to go, and when it rains, like they were showing the flooding, it puddles right out at our so-called driveways. And I believe curbs and sidewalks would help solve this. And it's more, like I said, I like to think if this is a vision for the city, then we should be doing something that other cities might look at and say that's something that we like to do. We do the, like we were saying, the amusement parks, and we look at all those things. But we feel that this is something really visionary, that the city will be, you know, looked at and said, you know, for coming up with an idea that, you know, is visionary, put it that way. That's about all that I have to say, because I was listening to everyone and they were coming up with their $1 million ideas, and this isn't like that. It's just something that's needed in the community. And like years ago, I was told I didn't really squeak loud enough, but I felt that if they came out and saw what was going on. I mean, it's like if you see a child starving, you think, well, he needs food. You know, you wouldn't have to say, well, should we give him some food? You'd be saying, where can we get the food to give it to him? Well, it's the same thing here. You go in the area, if you look at the target area, there's no sidewalks anywhere. Anywhere you go in that target area, you'll see lots of wheelchair ramps. But these people have nowhere to go. And we would just like to have sidewalks that way, and it helped because, you know, we have buses up and down the street, but there's no, you know, the people, there's nothing for them there. And we're hoping that if the city can find it, to put this $300,000, that's what the original cost was. And I had talked with some bricklayers and plastics companies and things like that, and I'd have to go back to them and, you know, kind of because, you know, I was like, yes, I think they'll see it and they'll do it, yet it didn't happen. And, you know, and so I'd like to know that, hey, the city said, yes, we think we're going to do that. Then I can go back to these people, and then they will be willing to, you know, donate. They were willing to donate some of the things that we need. For instance, my original, we need about 1,200 solar lights. And each one of them, if you look at that third page, would have to be modified. The idea was to hopefully get some science and technology students from McLean or TSST and have them modify the solar lights, because if you look at the third page, there's a wire that leads to the lucite wire, the lights to light it up. And so and if you know anything about solar lights, the leads are that long. So they'd all have to be modified. And I was hoping to get like a senior, and since they have 9th grade at McLean now, maybe a 9th grader, and have them modify the solar lights. But we'd have to do that keeping up with the city, I was hoping, who would put in the concrete, the sidewalks. But that's our proposal to remedy a kind of bad situation. Thank you.